Hey there, happy people. Captain John. I want to take a minute, just 1 minute, to thank all y'all. This is mind-blowing how much you guys love this kind of content. Anyway, today, you're going to work with me again. We're going to go down to what we call the Harbridge Marina. This one's not actually in the marina, it's a high and dry. Well, one of the customers down there bought a boat, and I'll explain that later. They can't lift it out of the water because it has barnacles and oysters all over it. And I'll explain that later. We're heading there now, and you're riding shotgun. Are you ready for this? This is called People Helping People. We've got here a pacemaker right out there. And it's got oysters on the bottom. I'm not gonna take you under there, but I just want to explain. You can't haul a boat out when it has oysters on it because it will damage the forklift pads and it will ruin everybody else's boat when they go to pick it up after that. So I'm going to go over there, show you as much as I possibly can, get you started, and then I'm going to leave. When I get back, you better have it done. Okay, we're almost dressed. I wasn't going to leave you by yourself doing that job. But anyway, my channel is people going to work with me, and this is just one of those oddball jobs to get myself into. But it is about people helping people. And so we're going to take care of this pacemaker, clean it up so the guys can lift it up and put it on the rack. Meanwhile, it's a portable area. So, where are you going to get electric? My air compressor needs electric, so what do? You come up with your own solutions. So between this and the air and the hose, the long hose, you wonder why I always have a long hose? Well, there you go. I got to get to that boat out there. Okay, let's go ahead and got the generator started, air's plugged in, power, hose is all the way out to the dock. Let's walk out there and see what's going on. We'll close this gate so no intruders will bother us. Just like that. All right, we'll move that to the other side over there, put that back in the hole. Golly, this is all right. All right. Okay, so now this is our pacemaker. Cute little boat. Like I said, I never know what to get myself into, but I brought it from the high and dry over to here because I could see through the water a little bit better. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop it in right here. Kind of let me show you a little bit of what's going on so you know. And we got oysters. Those are trim tabs and the boys can't lift up the boat, and on the other side is the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean the other side, come back here, turn the boat around, and start again. Okay, so I'm going to shut you off for just a little bit. I'll come turn you on just as soon as we get one side of the boat cleaned. We'll get going. Hey guys, Captain John. I got a sad story here. Body found 3 weeks ago, Salt Creek. Body found last weekend, Salt Creek. Both missing arms. Both bodies were missing arms. I get called in to dive Salt Creek. Now, do you think I really want to? Now, see this blue suit? This is a dry suit, and the water's still cold, although we're getting into spring now. As you can see, in just a minute, the boat that I was diving had oysters on it, but the guys at the high and dry could not lift it out of the water because they don't want to damage their forks and then possibly scratch another person's boat. Let's get on with the video. Hang in there to the end. Tell me if you recognize what kind of boat this is and what a gem this lady picked up. Okay, she's back at her spot where the guys are going to pull her out tomorrow. Put her on one of these lifts, probably back over here. And she's all clean, ready to go. So I'm going to be here as they haul it out. And I'm going to do another walk around and show you what I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the camera to the under the water. It was too dark where I was diving. Oh, look, I left a couple tools. What is going on, happy people? We're here in the high and dry at the Harbridge Marina. Remember that boat we dove yesterday that had all those oysters on it? We're trying to find it. Aren't they the coolest racks ever? I was so happy when they got these. Where did they put it? Well, I got word that the starter on this forklift is bad, and this is a perfect stall, and he is going to do us a favor, and we're going to take her boat and stick it on one of these ramps, because right now it's way up the top. Oh, there it is. Right, I walked right by it. It's right up there in the top rack. But he's gonna see what he can do. But I want to show you. See those trim tabs right there? They were down. They couldn't lift the boat up because they were down. So I cleaned them and brought them up yesterday. Now that propeller right there, that little bitty thing, you couldn't even see. I don't even know how they got the boat here. But you see why it doesn't actually move real quick? It's because that little baby rudder. But it's all clean now. All the oysters are off. Oh, it looks like they pressure washed it a little bit. Stops the smell. But with that said, he's gonna do us a favor and see where we can go from there. Are you you? Are you you? Well, I'm pulling a favor. We're gonna bring this thing down.
Oh, they just put her up there.
I know.
Where's the boat? He's like, it's up there.
So what he just said is he's going to put a boat away and then he's going to bring that one down. And I told him, this is what I told him, because I respect the boys. They work their ass off. They really do, okay? So if you're nice to them, they're nice back. If you're rude, then they put you on the back of the rack. But when I came over here, I expected it to be on either a work rack or on the ground, because they know that you want to go through the boat.
That's what I asked him. I said, so what are we going to do when John and I want to look at the boat?
We need a long hose.
When I got here, I went, where's the boat? He goes like this.
And this little video right here is the whole episode of this boat.
He goes up there, and I turned around and looked. I was like, holy shit.
Up there. I'm surprised they don't blow off way up there. Some engineers got it together. But yeah, he's going to do us a favor and bring it down.
Most of them, you know, it's in the bottom.
All right, she's coming down. Bilge pump works. Better move to the left, right. So my guess is he's going to put it on a work rack right over there, let us look at it, then he's going to situate things out. So that water is coming out your muffler stacks, and what that means is nothing. There's a holding box inside the engine room where water gets sucked up to the engine, goes in the holding box, and the exhaust, raw water and exhaust mix, and then shoves it out the exhaust pipe. That's what you see leaking right now. And just like that, we're on the work rack.
Down.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So, right off the bat, what I see,
Okay.
now that we have it all open, it looks like your ball valve's good. We'll exercise that. Double hose clamps. The guy knew what he was doing. I'll put a flashlight on this. This is your hydraulics for your trim tabs. Battery switch is off. But this right here is your starter.
okay.
Why is it rusty? Because when the boat is moving, when you do a sea trial, you open up these and you look in here and see what kind of salt water's flinging around.
Right.
So right now, we would pull that starter off, go have it rebuilt or tested, and at least change the starter solenoid, and then we'll find out if the stuffing box leaks. Okay, so we were looking at the cutlass bearing, and she pointed this out, which was a smart idea. We're wondering where the little sheen of oil is coming from. And so I'm just thinking it's a rear main seal based on what she said, but more important, we're having a hard time with the starter, remember?
Yeah.
So if you listened to me yesterday start the motor and you heard it go click, click, and then all of a sudden it engaged, it tells me that the points, and you see this rusted, the points are not connecting or it's not throwing it out fast enough. So we're going to take it off. The easiest thing to do is just take it off, take it to a starter place that actually rebuilds them, and it could be just as simple as him cleaning it up and putting a new starter solenoid on it. Now, the old owner was amazing. Ugh. We'll get a new hose. We'll get a new hose for that. See how stiff this is?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be that stiff, but it goes right over the breather hole right there.
Is that a bypass hose?
Yes. There's her ground plate that I was calling out, and there's a ground wire right there, and that should be connected all the way. See it under, see it underneath there? That's a ground wire, and it goes through all. See that one? That ball valve's not grounded. Nice transducer she's got there. Look at that back in there. See that? That's expensive. We're going to replace this tubing. She is, I am, whoever. I think we can get that at Home Depot. That's easy enough. Concerned about the fuel tank? Not really, but it is an older boat, so it's probably built better. All right, so 350?
Yes.
5.7. Beautiful engine to work on. Okay, that right there is your fuel water separator. And I see that he has two tanks, one there and one there, which is fun. You can go on a long trip with this. But we need to get you a couple cans,
okay, because
you did a nice trip, and chances are whatever sludge is at the bottom of the tanks, since you drained one of them, that is going to be full of garbage.
I drained this one.
So that's going to be full of garbage.
That filter on the bottom. See
So that is not a rule. It is another brand, which is senses every 30-40 seconds, see if there's any water in the bilge. Some things aren't being used. This is empty. That might be a little low. I'm really surprised you didn't overheat. Let me see this real quick. The owner's refreshing. She knows what burping is. Watch this hole right here. See it? The water going up and down? That's called burping. If you get an airlock in there, warm up the engine, keep pushing that. And then you were talking about the oil. Oh yeah.
It's black as night.
We're black as night there. So that's so I would like to, so you can run this thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see the starter.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
You clean the boat.
Yep.
All this garbage. I guess he was a little older guy.
He's 42.
I don't know if that fan works, but we can get a new hose. That's the fan right there, in and out.
Works.
Okay, so then we just need a new hose. It's no biggie. Because it's a gasoline engine, when you start this boat, like yesterday when I started the boat, I had the hatch open.
Yeah.
All right? Or you turn the fan on. It does look like it's not an original motor because there's a lot of new parts on here, and I'm going to point them out to you. These exhaust tubes, they're new.
Yep.
They're brand new. Wrong clamps, but they're brand new. And why I say wrong clamps is because exhaust comes up through the manifold and out in the exhaust here, and so does water. And that's a high pressure spot, which goes into those baffles I was telling you when we were on the ground. that was holding water, and that was really what was draining out when the forklift was picking it up. So we just need to get, they're cheap enough to just replace those, because I've seen so many boats sink when those pop off. But yeah, there's a fuel filter down there too. No, oil. That's oil. Okay, so oil filter, fuel filter. The other thing I check is when I come over here, I look over here and see the alternator. Then I see if there's any dust. Because if the boat had been sitting for a period of time, there would be dust that the belt has chewed up. So let's go ahead and feel that belt. It's tight. It's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you had spares on there anyway. This guy looks like he was a mechanic, because everything seems to be in order.
He was.
Wow.
He was a mechanic at Scott's Marine.
Oh, there you go. This guy knew his stuff. Okay, well, looking over the boat here, we found all kinds of pluses, all right? Well, first of all, look underneath there. The stator's brand new. The hoses are brand new. The batteries look newish. We have a battery switch here, but we have an automatic bilge pump down there. Now that automatic bilge pump is kicking on while we're here. And we don't want that to happen because she's not plugged into shore power. So we're gonna rewire that and put it on the battery switch. Then when she comes to the boat to use it, she has to turn the battery switch on to run the engines. And to do that, anyway, that's not what I was turning the camera on for. I'm excited about this. This guy obviously knew what he's doing. You know what this extra hose is right here? That is, look closely. If you shut that ball valve off and you follow that hose right to here, that is called a freshwater flush. There's only one engine. You stick a garden hose to this, shut that ball valve off, turn the garden hose on, then turn the engine on, and let the engine in idle. You can't rev the engine up, it'll collapse the garden hose, but let it run for like maybe 15 minutes. That's about it. What it does is it flushes these out. These are your risers, and these will corrode inside if you don't flush. Okay, it looks like he's already been in here. These are new, so because this thing had a big nice trip, we need to stick a garden hose on there, shut that ball valve, start the engines, and flush the salt water out of here. Okay, otherwise it will corrode. All right, and what else are we looking at? Sending units probably don't work because they're all corroded, but that can be cleaned up and done. We're going to change out the Sierra, which is common. Both Sierra, one's a fuel filter, they're both fuel filters. And you got the oil filter over there.
Hey, Kevin,
So no, underneath there, you got another sending unit for another tank, left and right. Right here, this box here is empty because it's a freshwater cooled engine with raw water intake to cool the exhaust. If she ever overheats, we would take this off and clean out the rods inside there. If we're going to show you right now how to flush an engine that we just worked on the boat yesterday. Owner's here, and she's getting the hose, and here's the hose right here. Go ahead and turn that hose on. See that shut off on there, guys? That's what you need on the end of your hose, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this hose, and I'm going to walk her through the flushing mode, and then we're going to turn the battery switch back on and start the engine. So it goes right here. So the old owner knew what he was doing. So I'm going to put that on there for her. Just like that, very nicely done. And she's got the water on. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and turn the battery switches on. Just like that. Well, that's not good.
What happened?
You got water coming in somewhere. Okay, why? Something just blew off. That has probably something to do with his not double clamping part. Yep, he's got a single clamp on there that blew right off your water pump. So we can't start the boat today. Well, fun stuff, huh?
So the clamp came off the water
Yeah,
hose.
you can pull it out. You can see it. I'm gonna turn your bilge pump back on again. Let me show you. Can you hop in here? It's kind of tight.
I see it.
Do you?
I see the fuse holder.
Right here?
Yeah, the black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to spray some T9 in there. It looks a little corroded. But if I...
Oh,
That's
there
it.
it is.
Nice. Nice. That's a
Oh,
godsend.
the water's coming out too.
That's a godsend right there. That saved your butt from a lot. Okay. Cool. Now shut off. Hey. Okay. Now we know where that is.
Nice.
We know the flush works, except
Yep.
the hose needs to be reattached.
So do we close that valve?
Doesn't matter.
No. Okay.
We're not in the water,
Okay.
and you're not going back in the water.
Until the hose gets.
At
closed
least
back
the
on.
hose is on. I'm kind of glad we're doing this because this could have happened out there. That's a shame. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, though, right?
But at least you got one, right?
Correct.
Because I was going to recommend it. Okay, we're going to look around here real quick, and we're looking underneath the railing now. All right, we already did our our walkthrough in the engine room I showed you, but I don't like this foam underneath here, and it needs to be sealed. And funny she said that because on her trip down here, she says somehow water was getting in the boat. Look at that. All that needs to be dug out. Can you see that? All that needs to be dug out. And then we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of foam in there, cut that off, and then seal it with a silicone seal. And then all the way down here. This right here is cosmetic. We can always get that, put it back on over there. But look at this hull. See how shiny it is? And look how straight it is. All right, what were you saying over here?
See this impression?
Yeah. That was where probably an exhaust hose was. And you just sealed it off.
Okay. I figured.
Yeah. He just went straight back with it. We're looking at this. She had a couple questions why that looks like an old exhaust hose. That is a brand new tube. So I would imagine we need a new sacrificial sink here. That needs to be attached to that. That needs to be attached to that. She's got 3